Sorry to keep you waiting so long, Mrs. Holt.
John!
Marie. Marie, darling, if I have to have occasional pain, amen, so be it. I wouldn't want it any other way, darling.
But
Grow old along with me. The best is yet to be, the last of life, for which the first was made.
Gibran's The Prophet. Love gives not but itself and takes not from itself. Love possesses not, nor would it be possessed. For love is sufficient unto love. Not a lesson, just a reminder from all the sentimentalists in the Twilight Zone.
This is Brandon Cruz, the inventor of the modern podcast. I remember starting the first podcast in 1956 after a clandestine meeting with the then President of the United States of America, who actually, incidentally, was not Dwight David Eisenhower, but actually Jerry Lewis. I don't know if you knew that, but Eisenhower had a heart attack, which was kept secret at the time, and he told Jerry, take over. He told him this while he was in a hospital. But tonight, all that aside, tonight the creator of the first rocket-powered sled, Old David Rocket Sled Lawler, will discuss the episodes Hocus Pocus and Frisby and the trade-ins on that Twilighty show about that zone. Stay tuned, or don't. I don't particularly care.
All right, what the hell are we talking about, man? I don't even know.
Hocus Pocus and Frisby and the trade-ins.
We're so late in this season now. I have totally lost any kind of thread that might keep everything together. I have no idea. We're completely off script tonight. I don't even think I have a script.
All right,
I've got what I wrote you, and then I've got my final my thank yous and all that stuff.
All right, well, wherever you want to take this. I mean, Hocus Pocus is in the title. Let's make some magic, baby. Can I call you baby?
I also wrote the guft instead of the gift. What's a guft?
Oh man, I love the guft. That's my favorite movie.
The guft, man. I'm gonna have to bring up some notes or something here. But we're here with Brandon Cruz, a host of Submitted for Your Approval.
Yes.
A Twilight Zone podcast from www.apatheticenthusiasm.com. How have you been, Brandon?
I have been hecka good. I'm from California, Southern California, so I refuse to say hella. So I'll just say hecka.
Hocus Frisby. Let's just call it Hocus Frisby. This is okay. You've got, what's his name? Andy Devine is playing this kind of, what is he? Is he like a son of the soil? Is he a son of the South? Is he like a redneck type or something like that?
Is he a banned Disney movie? I'm not sure.
Zippity doo dah. He's like, okay, he runs this gas station / general store, and I guess he's the kind of place that would be like considered really quiche and cute for, like, I don't know, douchey types that live in like Oregon or something like that. I'm not really sure. He would be like, he would probably have like assorted cheeses in one aisle and vintage Star Wars action figures in another aisle.
That's right. And then artisan crackers, like just samples up on the countertop.
Watercress sandwiches.
Oh my God, so delicious. Yeah, it's like, it reminded me kind of, it's like kind of a hokey market, but it looks like an old like antique store that my parents would take me into as a kid, where I'm like, come on, I want to go.
And they don't want to
games.
leave you alone. They don't want to leave you alone for more than 30 seconds. They want to keep you within their field of vision the whole time you're there, because the owner might take you aside and you might want to do that. But we're not. No, we're talking about this guy Somerset Frisby, who's a gentle old man. He's a peaceful old man, and he likes to tell stories.
Right. That's probably the only reason they tolerate him.
He's like Forrest Gump in a way. People don't remember him. You know,
right.
He's there, you know.
Yeah, he's exactly like Forrest Gump. Actually, I remember reading in the trivia for this show that he's actually Forrest Gump. That was his original name.
Really?
No, that's making that up.
No. You can make things up in this episode.
Oh, okay.
Well, we don't. You know, the thing about it is the way Rod Serling works. I know this is based on a story from Frederick Fox, but the way he writes, you can't be sure if he's actually lying or not. I mean, like, he does eventually tell certain people later on that, you know, he just kind of makes stuff up. He kind of he imbues it with a certain kind of non-reality in that physical sense, and he exaggerates. He makes a lot of exaggerated claims. But I think the point of this is that it's obviously meant to be kind of stupid funny. You know, it's sort of meant to have like a humorous thing. He tells the stories.
Frisby, when are you going to burn that mouth organ, or at least learn how to play it?
Well, it relaxes me. Well, old Blackjack knew who he was dealing with. He didn't call me old enfilading Frisby for nothing. You know.
Horseradish. Where do you keep the horseradish, Frisby?
Top shelf.
Top shelf. And ketchup?
Right in back of the cash register. Well, the next morning we attacked up and down the line, and the rest is history. Smashed them to bits. 4.5 hours later, we were in Paris, and an hour later, we're in Berlin.
Off. Be my guest.
Frisby, you're the biggest liar that ever sat by a stove.
You doubting my word?
Well, you can start with that. Beyond just doubting your word, I'm calling you a liar. How can you get from Paris to Berlin in 1 hour?
Find a salary, Pete?
Yep. How about turnips?
Oh, all out. Get some in the morning.
We're waiting, Frisby. How do you go from Paris to Berlin in 1 hour?
Well, now, that's what made the operation so fantastic. See, I was doing a little reconnoitering and found a back route.
Well, that's very interesting, Frisby, except last week you sat right in that dang chair and told us you was in the Balloon Corps. Over the Battle of the Marne, you shot down 3 German Fokkers with a pistol, and you directed the artillery so the Marines could win.
Then he closes up the shop. They all leave, you know. Hey, see you later, Frisby, for another story, whatever. And he goes out there, and like I guess aliens show up. Weird. What is it? It's like they're Men in Black, right? It's kind of like they're Men in Black because they're driving like a car.
Yeah.
They're dressed in suits or something. Like, you know, we'd like to talk to you for a few seconds, Mr. Frisby.
Right.
And he's like, well, sure, you know. And when you talk to Frisby, it's for like for hours. For hours, he would talk.
Yeah. Do you know people like that in your daily life where they just you don't actually want us to say hi to them because you know that hi is going to turn into like just a circular conversation?
Let me tell you an interesting story about the word hi, Dave. I mean, yeah, it'll go on for like 2 hours. Oh my Jesus! I just wanted to go to the supermarket and grab some fruit.
You know he's exaggerating and he's telling these tall tales. Even his friends call him out. I think for the audience's sake, with like how do you get to France from France to Berlin in an hour? And that of course starts up another lie, right?
Yeah, a rocket sled, like me, like the kind I created.
Yes.
You should have seen mine, by the way. I had the coolest decals, lightning to make it go faster.
No, I read about it. I read about it in Scientific Yearly.
Actually, no, Brandon, you wrote that article. Remember, you wrote that. That's how we met. You wrote the article about my rocket sled.
Yes, that's right. You were a pain in the ass to find.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm on my rocket sled all the time. You never know where I'm going to be.
Yeah, and you're quick. You're too quick.
It runs on water. Anyway.
Yes, hydroponic.
Yes.
You're the one who termed that coin. Or wait,
I termed that coin.
Strike that. Reverse it.
I termed that coin, and then
Right? And you're always doing that. You're always correcting me. You're always catching me in these funny word mix-ups.
That's how I know you're part alien because you can't quite get the puns right.
Mm-hmm.
You said it was raining dogs and cats the other day. I was like, what?
Yeah, I mean these weird Men in Black. No Will Smith because this is the 50s, 60s I should say. Right. But actually we don't. That's a side note. We don't actually know when this movie.
Yeah,
we kind
of don't know it. It's got a kind of a I don't know, Earl Hamner Jr. quality to it, where it's a time and place that you feel like the Waltons are just over the mountain range waving,
right,
that kind of thing.
I think the only tie to the timeline is when Frisby makes there's.
Well, the car looks fairly contemporary for the time. I want to assume 62, right?
True, yeah. And his friend Lyndon is like, okay, yeah, and I'm the vice president. Or no, Johnson? His name was Johnson. Mm-hmm. And he's like, yeah, and I'm the vice president. And then Frisby says, okay, Lyndon, or something like that.
Yeah.
So
and in a little over a year, Lyndon would become president.
There it is.
Because, as we know, Frisby was part of the whole assassination and got Lyndon the presidency because of that. Anyway.
Yeah. Old Assassinator Frisby is what his other name was.
He's such a charming, adorable man. I love this man. And we love him. We're supposed to love him.
Yeah. He's like the grandfather I never had. Well,
yeah.
He tells him a bunch of tall tales, which they believe, and they're like, okay, this is the man we want. He knows everything. He's a prime specimen. He goes back into his little shop, and then he hears this disembodied voice that tells him to walk outside of the building for 200 yards to go on an adventure. Which,
yes.
I've heard that before, and I spent 2 months in the hospital.
Yeah, I've heard that one too, and always fall unconscious and then wake up and my pants are gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when you think about it, go ahead.
No. I was just going to say it's because we keep going to the pant dealership. It's a weird joke. See, you shouldn't have let me continue on.
It's hit or miss with you. Mainly miss. But what I was saying was it's kind of a reverse Men in Black when you think about it, because the movie Men in Black and the comic book on which it was based, their whole idea was that we have government agents that are fully aware of our relationship with aliens. So what they did was they went out. I mean, aliens would come here and supply us with their genius and their technology, and also their incredible dance pop music. So what they're doing is they're doing the same thing that we're doing. They're sending their own aliens in black, if you will, out there looking for the smartest people they can find. And unfortunately, we as humans have a tendency to exaggerate. So we tell these crazy stories, and then aliens figure it out. Hey, wait a minute. This guy's really smart. Let's abduct him and bring him back to our planet so he can help us do all these wonderful things that he claims he did with other people. He Frisby says he has 8 doctoral degrees. So
yeah.
They're not looking. They didn't have credit check or reference checks. I guess back then even aliens didn't. So they took him at his word.
So Frisby comes out of he walks out of his store. And he doesn't get 200 yards, which, maybe it's a plot hole, I think, a little bit. He doesn't even get 200 yards outside of his building, and then he gets taken away, and he makes like a whee sound.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's sitting in a lounge chair or something? I don't know.
They're so comfortable, and it's like a gentleman's club for aliens, and they're all nicely dressed, and they're telling him, yeah, we're going to take you back to our home planet as a specimen. And just get comfortable.
And these aliens, okay, all right, they wear blazers. They seem to have some kind of a turtleneck thing going on that matches with their faces. And they have no mouths.
You
They have no mouths.
You can't accuse them of being, unfashionable. You can't do it.
They are completely like every bad guy in 70s cop shows. Except for the faces, of course.
Right. And that's more of a... I mean, how would you even describe those faces?
Okay, it's sort of like what you would think of when you think of the Greys or the Little Green Men. It's sort of a big head, of course, and big eyes, big kind of hollow, cavernous eyes. But they also have these enormous nostrils. So I'm guessing Kleenex really does cleans up on their planet, whatever it is.
Yeah,
when they sneeze,
sponsors.
it's got to be huge when they sneeze. But they don't speak, of course. They communicate telepathically.
For anybody listening who hasn't watched that, right? Frisby punches one of them. Punches them in the face when they're like in the human form, and then the face falls apart into a mask, and then we see the aliens' faces.
Yes.
Which means that they're really good at making human masks that are very lifelike.
Apparently.
And how do they operate if they're doing it telepathically, communicating telepathically? That means they have to operate the mouth part separately, and the eyes.
I would assume they have some really good articulation, like they have the magic of Jim Henson and Frank Oz operating in the mouth. They look like they're constantly going, It's like they can't really speak or something like that.
Yeah.
You got to wonder, where does the food go? I mean, where did they put their food? Where did they put their nourishment?
It's telepathic.
Telepathic nourishment.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm thinking of bread and cheese.
Yeah, and wine. There's got to be wine. If you're going to have bread and cheese, you have to have wine. A nice red.
John, I'm stuffed, is what the aliens say to each other. He's kind of resigned to his fate at some point, right? He's like, okay, I guess I'm getting abducted. Well, no, first he tells them that he's just a liar. That he's just
He's like, I was just making that stuff up. Come on, we tell stories. We do this all the time. And they're like, what? This episode of the Twilight Zone is just too cute for its own good. I think that's the big problem with it. Is like, obviously they just want to have a little fun. So we don't have any great implications here, as far as whatever the consequences of his actions might be.
Right. I read somewhere in some comments about Rod Serling at the end says he never read the story about the boy who cries wolf or whatever that Frisby did, and I think the comment said something about how in the boy who cries wolf, like there's an unhappy ending to it,
right,
where like the wolf kills a bunch of things, probably like an entire city. I don't know. It's probably like Godzilla. Frisby doesn't get eaten in this, and I think that's the difference is everybody who he knows he's a liar, and they're okay with it because they still like him, and in the end he doesn't suffer any kind of consequence.
Well, yeah, actually what happens, I think, is it becomes ironic, I guess, if you want to use that word, because he becomes a hero. He escapes from the aliens. It turns out that he has this harmonica, and he always, he plays his harmonica while he's telling the stories, and he always keeps it with him at all times, even when he goes to the bathroom. And, he plays his harmonica, and it turns out that they really hate the sound. It gives them horrible headaches or something.
Do you mind if I relax a little?
That horrible sound.
I was figuring on giving a concert on this someday. Do you have harmonicas on your planet? You better scat. They didn't call you old Milo.
Back in your room, Mr. Frisby.
Frisby for nothing.
Let him out. Lower the stair.
No, don't follow him. He has some sort of fantastic instrument that lets out a death sound. We'd best get out of here before he warns the others.
And they faint.
It's like their own
dead away.
Yeah, it's brown notes or something like that. And so he gets out of that spaceship. He runs. He goes 200 yards, if you will, or whatever.
Yep.
Back to his store, and his friends are throw him a surprise party because it's his birthday too.
Right.
So, of course.
And they're all just so super excited to see him and give him just love. And there's actually more friends in there, so we see that it's not just the three people from the beginning of the show. There's a bunch of people in there who all care about Frisby in some way, shape, or form. You know,
it's nice. Yes, it's kind of a nice ending there. Except you got to wonder, are the aliens going to come back and, you know, carve out a whole section Borg style of that town they live in?
Well, they do say as they're flying away, and this made them a little more, a little more insidious, I think, with this last thing that they say before they fly away, which is, "Let's get out of here before he warns the others."
I'm thinking they should have been like shaking their alien fists and going, "I'll get you, Frisby!" You know, something like that. I don't know.
I like the episode to a certain extent. I know he lies a lot. I get it. What kind of brings it for me disliking it is the fact that he's not doing it to harm anyone. All these lies are very, very inconsequential. They're not hurting anybody.
Yeah, white lies.
So he's just telling stories. And actually, this my son watches this show on Netflix, and it's Mater's Tall Tales.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was kind of interesting because in Mater's Tall Tales, it's Mater from Cars, and he's telling these elaborate stories to Lightning McQueen, and it's all about like how he's getting abducted by aliens, or he was like in a monster truck rally, all this type of stuff. And whereas in this episode, all these things are actually lies. Because he's an endearing kind of personality, it wasn't unbearable to me to watch it and listen to it. And I enjoyed the hell out of every time he told a story. He always ended it with that's why they call him Old Cumulus Frisby, or Old Archimedes Frisby, Old Rear Engine Frisby,
Old Petter-ass Frisby.
Old Child Murderer Frisby, they used to call me.
Old Hanging Chad Frisby. It's just kind of a harmless diversion. There's nothing serious about it. Yeah, that's how I saw it.
Yeah.
But we move on to what's probably comparably a better episode, which would be the trade-ins. A lot of people I know really like this episode quite a bit.
You know what I don't like about the episode? I'll just get this out of the way. I don't like the old age makeup on an already old looking person.
Yeah, they look like Bette Midler and James Caan in the movie For the Boys. Just really bad Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle makeup.
Oh my God. Great reference. I think of that movie every now and then, and I only saw it like once as a kid. And for some reason, whenever I think of Vera Lynn, whenever I'm listening to The Wall, I think of For the Boys.
Mm-hmm.
So,
for the laughter, for the love, for the boys.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. Hey, that's why I'm here. No, this is very similar. Just yesterday I did an episode. I had to record another one for the episode I Sing the Body Electric, which was written by Ray Bradbury, and it has stylistically, it's kind of like the same idea, sort of. But what this is immortality. I guess you have like these very old people, like horribly old. And it's, who is it? Joseph Schildkraut and Alma Platt. Joseph Schildkraut, if I'm not mistaken, was in Death's Head Revisited, playing one of the concentration camp ghosts.
That's right, yeah.
And well, this is like, you have new technology, something like that, right? And you can, I guess, stop being old and transfer your consciousness or brain into a younger body or something like that.
Yeah, that's right.
And there was a fifth season episode that was similar to this. Number 12 looks like you, or something.
Yeah.
Number 12 looks just like you, something like that.
You're getting after it. You're nailing all the references.
I'm sorry about that. Did you go ahead? You can say that.
No. I want you to keep, like, I wouldn't have said any of this stuff. I'm really proud of you and for taking me on this journey.
Oh my goodness.
We're going to grow old together, knowing that we had this journey.
Yeah, and then we'll swap our bodies at some point. I'm getting verklempt. Anyway, so he goes in there, and the thing is, it costs $5,000 to do this per body.
Yeah.
They only have $5,000, and they don't. they have this weird idea. I mean, this it's sort of like overregulation in a way, because the government is handling all this in some way, and they say, we can't put you on a layaway plan. Even though it makes no sense. So his plan is to, I guess, their plan is to take the $5,000. Well, first they're thinking, hey, one of us does the body swap, gets the younger body, and then we work and make that money, and then we'll get you, we'll hook you up and get you a nice new body too. But he's like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. So he decides to, I guess, go to a poker game or something. Yep. I guess maybe there was an ad in the paper for a poker game where he could make a lot of money. Or
local underground poker tournament.
Yeah, 5,000. And Theo Marcuse is there. Theo Marcuse, great. I love this guy. I love Theo Marcuse, great character actor. He was in an episode of Star Trek. He was in an episode of The Monkees. He was in a couple other things. I think he was in another Twilight Zone as well. He was also in a Man from U.N.C.L.E. episode. He's just a ubiquitous face that you always find in 60s television, because he died actually in 1967, I want to say.
Interesting.
In a car accident or something like that. But great actor. And he says he hosts the old man. He's very accommodating. He's very welcoming. The old man comes in with his $5,000. He's hoping to win like a whole bunch of money, maybe $10,000. Maybe he can double his money or something, and be able to pay for this dual swap of bodies or whatever's going on.
Oh. Well, let's start with a little 5-card draw. Jacks are better.
Excuse me, Mr. Farrer. Jacks are better? That means I have to have 2 jacks?
You have to have 2 jacks or better to open. If nobody has them, then you have to have 2 queens.
Thank you very much. It all comes back to me now. 2 queen. Thank you.
You got it, Bob.
Thank you.
Da-da-dum, dee-da, dum,
Hello, 100.
Sorry, Bob. You said? I'll be all right, Mr. Farrer. Pom, pom, pom. Team, pom, pom.
Is there any indication of what year this is? Is this the future, or is this just fantasy?
I don't think there's any indication of what year it is. I didn't catch any lines alluding to it. So I think it's just a time. We'll just say it's the 60s.
Let's just say that. It's great. But don't you love the idea of not only just the Twilight Zone, but like, say, I don't know, other, like, say, science fiction movies of that time period where they acted like they could go into space or they could do all these crazy futuristic things, but they were all doing it in the guise of the past, of this 60s appearance.
Yeah.
I don't, like, oh, God, Forbidden Planet kind of comes to mind, but that's not really the 60s. It's supposed to be the future. But if you look at it, it's so retro designed to look like the 60s in a way.
Yeah, I've been... because Mystery Science Theater 3000 just came back out.
Yes, it did. Yes,
I've been watching them again, and a lot of those old movies and all crappy sci-fi movies, they're like that, right?
Like Rocket Ship XM comes to mind, the first major one they did.
Yeah,
back in those days.
I think there's a large part of that is just the limitations of set design and money and just economy of. Well, we need to tell a story, but we can't go all out yet.
Yeah, they can't. They didn't really, like, back in those days. Studios didn't really spend lots of money on genre pictures like that. Mm-hmm. You have, I guess, the friendliest poker players in the world, because this guy winds up losing all of his money.
Yeah,
practically, and he's not a poker player, obviously. And Theo Marcuse is, but Theo Marcuse takes pity on him and basically fakes a way for him to get his $5,000 back. So no harm, no foul. Take off. You won. Back your money. Go. Get out of here before we take all your money anyway.
There's part of me in that scene where he's like lamenting. He's like, oh, I'm so sick, and I just wanted to switch bodies, and I'm gonna lose all my money, and like crying about it. And okay, we feel bad for him, and then And then he's like, I have 3 kings. Beat that. And he gets really cocky about it all of a sudden. And to me, if I was Theo Marcuse, I would have fallen for it up to that point, and then I'm like, oh, you cocky. No.
Yeah.
3 aces. Look, you can have, tell you what, you can keep your money because whatever, I don't care. But just know that I beat you. Now go do whatever it was, your $5.
Yeah, I would have actually have done that as he was, as he's leaving, he puts his money away, he's walking to the door. Oh, by the way, I had 3 aces.
Yeah.
Nah, I could have killed you.
Now get out or I'll kill you. I'll break your damn hands.
Yeah. So what do we come to? We come to this conclusion at the end where he's like, he uses the money that he has. I guess that's when they came to the idea that, hey, I'll make myself young, and then I'll work, I'll earn the money, and then we'll hook you up, and then he becomes like this wonderful young athletic man.
Yeah, doing push-ups.
He's got one of these bodies that looked, I guess, like it was really healthy back in 1962. But these days, men don't really look like that. They're all like ripped with abs and stuff. I mean, it's weird. We have all this muscle tone now, and all this, kind of. Really, I mean, in my opinion, and I'm straight up, but basically, I mean, like, if you're a man, give me a hint of muscle, and
right.
Don't give me all the abs. I don't need the abs. I don't need to, grate cheese on your stomach. I don't need to do that.
No, I mean, I don't need you to show me. I need you to prove to me.
That's right.
Lift some rocks. Right. Lift some show me that you can lift some boulders. That's what any man wants.
Yeah, he should have grabbed his wife. He should have grabbed Marie. Come on, let's go in the back. I'm gonna wreck you. And she's like, no. I guess you get a full refund or something. Did they keep the money? For the work that they did, should they keep the money, or do they refund you your money if you trade in the body?
I feel like they give you the money back.
Or maybe they'll keep the deposit. How about that? If there's a deposit, maybe they'll keep $100 and they'll give you back $49. Like for the work,
Yeah, like a penny for your thoughts, penny for your troubles.
I mean, they did the work, and they had to do it twice.
Yeah,
right.
Like those physicians in the back are like, "Oh, really? Come on, another one."
So they decide.
Jerks. Old people are jerks.
That was the alternate title, actually. That was Serling's original pitch was "Old people are jerks." So they decide, hey, you know what? Let's die together. Let's just freaking die together. We don't need this technology. We don't need this. Come on. Let's just go home. We'll sit in a chair. We'll have dry, dusty sex. And we'll be fine, because love is love is eternal. Love is young. Love always. I'm kidding. We're clamped again. Anyway, so they restored the old body. Yeah.
What bothered me about Marie?
Yeah.
M word. She when he was jumping around and dancing in his young person's body, and she was just holding a hand over her mouth, and she didn't say anything at all during that point. And I wonder what exactly she was thinking, and that was, you gave kind of your opinion on what she was thinking already.
Yeah.
But it wasn't very open, I guess, about what exactly was she thinking. Was she horrified that he's in a young body, or was she all of a sudden worried about her own death, or was she oh, he's being really selfish? The things that going on through her head. And I guess that's the old
hate the young. She doesn't want to look at his wonderful, beautiful young face or his young, beautiful body, and then have to deal with it. I'm just interpreting for her.
I mean that could be just as accurate. That's just my thought. And she doesn't move her hand that entire time. She's just maybe she had a stroke and her hand is stuck there.
She had a mini stroke. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
he's she's gonna keep having mini strokes. I might as well just be old and die.
Yeah. Yeah.
As someone who's been married for almost 14 years now,
mm-hmm.
I would just. I mean, I I don't know how they love each other so much, or if they want to be together for more centuries.
Well, let's just hope your wife didn't hear this one.
No, I'm in the garage and sleeping downstairs. It's okay. It's okay.
You're gonna hear like off in the background. Brandon!
I liked the episode. Like I said at the beginning, I didn't like old age makeup on old people, but you know, I do like the idea of transferring consciousness. What we talked about MST3K already, but I think the Clonus horror was you know, that's one of those similar concepts.
Parts the Clonus horror.
Yes.
Yeah. They don't really get into the technology again. Yeah, this could be like a form of cloning that what they're doing. It's been toyed around with the idea. It's not terribly original. This is more sentimental. This is more about sentimentality. It's more about sharing your lives together and all this stuff, all that, you know, squishy stuff.
Yeah, there's part of me, and I joke about the marriage stuff, but like I don't know. To me, life, there's a natural beginning and end to it. Mm-hmm. And to me, I feel like I don't want to abuse the time I'm given to like cheat and add extra time to the journey, I guess.
Yes.
It's a weird way of looking at it, I guess. And I think maybe that's where the two characters are at the end of this.
That's the point of it. Yeah, really. You nailed it right in the head. You hit it right there, Brandon.
Oh, shit. I didn't mean to.
Life is valuable because there's a time limit. And when you can constantly repeat life over and over again and become immortal, you're taking the value away from that experience. So there you go. How about that?
Oh, God. I'm old nail on the head Cruz. That's what they call me.
Old nail in the head Cruz. Yes. All right. Okay. I'm going to wrap this up.
All right.
Next time, I will be going back in time to discuss the episodes The Guffed and The Dummy with Colin Hall. We recorded the episode on Super Bowl Sunday, and our reactions are live and genuine. I want to thank my guest for this episode, Brandon Cruz. Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you so much, David. I appreciate it.
And this podcast can be found at www.apatheticenthusiasm.com, where he discusses, submitted for your approval, the Twilight Zone Podcast and the Rick and Morty Interdimensional RSS.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And when are you going to be getting? Are you going to be back to episodes by the time this airs? Which I don't know when it will air. This will air in July, I think, maybe. Yeah, you'll probably be back to it, right?
Yeah, I have started again in May. Last May, if this is in July.
Okay, all right. That's awesome. And really, listen to this show. It's a great show. Great show. And the Rick and Morty thing is awesome, too. I listened to that. Good stuff.
Thanks so much, David. I really do appreciate you having me on here and being able to talk about the Twilight Zone, because I love it. And MST3K.
All right, yeah. Mystery Science Theater. Somebody should do a podcast about that if they haven't already.
You know you want me, baby.
Hey,
I'm not going to do it. I've got like 5 podcasts running. I'm not doing it. So, Brandon, I'm passing the buck. It's up to you.
Okay. This fall.
All right, kids, remember, love gives not but itself and takes not but from itself. Love possesses not, nor would it be possessed, for love is sufficient unto love. That was from Khalil Gibran. I guess Rod Serling ended the episode with that particular piece from the poem The Prophet. Very good poem. So good night, everybody.